day of the regular season, and 5 positions in the play-in or playoffs are still to be determined.
Lakers will be in the postseason in some way, shape, or form. They're trying to avoid the play-in tournament. Playing on Tuesday night, the question is, will it be here at Crypto.com Arena, or will it be on the road? Here's James for 3. Let's go. LeBron James with 7 threes, and that one might be the dagger.
It's over. The play-in, here we come.
We're just looking forward to the opportunity, starting where we started at early in the year, now where we are, where we find ourselves sitting. We're excited. The guys are ready to go.
And if the Warriors win in Portland, they are assured no worse than the 6th seed.
Klay Thompson, 300! Wow. 300 threes in a year. Only Steph and Harden have ever done it in NBA history. With the right hand. Oh, goodness gracious. They'll keep an eye on that Clipper-Phoenix score to figure out if they're playing the Kings or if they're playing the Suns.
And the Suns and Clippers closing it out, regular season finale. Who knows? A week from tonight, might have the same 2 teams on the floor.
Back and forth we go. Lob to Westbrook. Back to Plumlee. Oh, my goodness. What a play. Kawhi Leonard delivers perhaps the shot of the game.
I'm sure they are. They already know that the Pelicans right now are in a very tight game.
We know with KD, with Book, with CP, they definitely execute. So we got to be tight with our game plan, understanding what we're trying to do, what we're trying to take away. But hopefully with 4 or 5 days to prepare, we should be a lot better.
It all comes down to this, the Timberwolves needing to finish strong in this final game of the regular season. The result of this game will decide a lot on the opponent in the play-in.
So much at stake.
McCollum down the lane.
Want to win, man. I love to win, man. So I'm happy. I hope you guys are happy. I just want to win, yeah. So I'm coming out with something to prove, and I hope they're ready, and my teammates, we ready, man. We're ready to go to war.
Let's take a look at the West standings. Remember, the play-in tournament is in full effect, and it'll start Tuesday night. You can see that middle column. 7 will play 8, 9 will play 10, and then we'll proceed from there.
Hey, we're set for something special this postseason, but before the playoffs comes the play-in, and the picture in the East was a lot clearer down the stretch. Miami will host Atlanta in the 7-8 game, with the winner moving on to face Boston in the opening round. The loser will get one last shot at the final playoff seed and face the winner of the 9-10 elimination game between Toronto and Chicago. Meanwhile, the West was muddled and decided on the season's final day. The Lakers pushed for a top 6, didn't happen, but they do get to host Minnesota in the 7-8 game on Tuesday. The winner of that game gets Memphis. Same deal, the loser gets one more shot at a playoff position, taking on the winner of the 9-10 elimination game between New Orleans and OKC. Welcome to our play-in preview show to Bill Cream alongside Greg Anthony. And there's excited and then there's giddy, okay? Because I think I'm a little more giddy because I don't know if you agree, but there's been so much parity around the league this year. I got no clue what's happening in these playoffs or what's going to happen.
I'm with you. And it's the first time in literally my lifetime where I didn't truly feel like I had any clue of how the Western Conference in particular is going to go. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see the 4 bottom-seeded teams, once we get through the play-in, actually win their series. I think we have that much parity. And I think that's exciting for the game and for the fans, and it creates a lot of anxiety for those higher-seeded teams.
And then there's these teams like the Los Angeles Lakers. When you look at the Lakers and where they were at the beginning of the year to where they are now, incredible. Lakers taking care of business on the final day of the regular season. LeBron hitting 8 threes, 36 points in a win over Utah. AD going for 16 and 13. The Lakers winning 9 of their last 11 games. And since the trade deadline, this team, when most people thought the Lakers were cooked leading into the deadline, because they didn't get Kyrie like LeBron wanted. I mean, credit to Rob Pelinka and his staff. The team has gone 18-9 since then.
Yeah, listen, they've got the second best record in the league since the All-Star break. So there's no doubt that they're trending in the right direction. And the question is, did they dig too big a hole for themselves in the beginning of the season to overcome it because of the strength of the difficulty of their path to the finals?
LeBron James is back. Here he is on how he feels heading into the play-in.
I'm getting there, and I'm getting there at the right time. I feel really good where my game is, where my body is right now. We did a good job of, putting the team that fits around AD and myself after the break, and then we just try to make it happen on the floor.
It's a hell of an opportunity before us, facing us, and we're up for it wholeheartedly. I don't see anything being any different going into this Tuesday game. We're going to pour all of our hearts and soul into that, being successful Tuesday night, and we'll go from there.
I mean, not the fact that they traded me has anything to do with it, but the fact that they're in the way of what we're trying to get done. I mean, that's all that really matters to me, honestly. It's a big game, and it matters. It dictates a lot. So just trying to get that win by any means.
All right, Jay, how dangerous is this Lakers team, considering LeBron says he's feeling pretty good heading into the play-in?
Yeah, I think that's a message he's sending to the rest of that Western Conference, that they are going to be in this, and that the plan is to be a long haul. Listen, I think they're extremely dangerous, in part because the revamped roster gives them the areas, it addresses the areas that they struggled in, right? They didn't shoot the ball particularly well. They weren't as good defensively as they needed to be. And I don't think they were nearly as versatile. This lineup gives them another primary ball handler, D'Angelo Russell. I think it takes a little bit of the pressure off of the playmaking of LeBron James. And if D'Angelo Russell, who should be pretty motivated going against his former 100%. Team in the play-in game, continues to play at a high level, this is a dangerous team. You think about the bench now with Malik Beasley and Dennis Schroeder coming off and what they can provide. Jared Vanderbilt's been terrific for them in kind of as a glue guy. Rui Hachimura has played some good basketball. So they've got a good enough roster to be competitive. There's no doubt about it. But as the postseason has shown time and time again, you've got to also have some good fortune. You got to get a couple bounces to go your way when you're talking about having to win 3 consecutive 7-game series. So if they can handle their business against Minnesota and then get that 7 seed, that sets up for a heavyweight battle against the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah, no doubt. But hey, listen, Minnesota's been playing some great basketball. However, their last game of the season was frankly bizarre. Because it was a game that they had to win. They beat New Orleans, which is huge in the standings, but then they lose Rudy Gobert in the process. Seen throwing a punch right there, Kyle Anderson during a timeout after the two had been exchanging words. So that was one thing right there. And then you got Jaden McDaniels punching a wall in the tunnel. This is a whole separate issue. Fractures his hand, their best perimeter player, as far as defenders are concerned, not available now. Kevin Garnett didn't seem to think the whole Gobert-Anderson thing was a problem, tweeting out, hey, nothing like a light scuffle to tighten up the screws before the playoffs. That's KG's mentality, though. What about Kyle Anderson? How do you think about this?
Tempers just flared. That's all. It is what it is. We'll speak about it and move on. We grown men. It is what it is. It ain't the first time someone has swung on me. It is what it is. We keep it in-house.
It's kind of a microcosm of our season if you think about it. All the stuff that's kind of went on in that game. Veterans can get upset too, so I don't want to be too hard on them, but obviously it's not something we're going to be able to tolerate here. Certainly immaturity, it's been one of our kind of issues all season, been immature at the wrong times. Probably points to why we're 3-9 or 3-10 against some of the teams that we should be better against. But those days are gone. We got to focus now on what we got and what we can move forward with. And I guess we play the Lakers, so head out there.
So Rudy Gobert tweeting this, emotions getting the best of me. He goes on to apologize to Kyle, to the organization, to the fans in that tweet, despite what was said. Shouldn't have reacted that way. And then Shams tweeting on Monday, and I think we all thought this was likely going to happen. Rudy Gobert has been suspended for that game against the Los Angeles Lakers. So very costly for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Do you see this team being in any kind of disarray at this point, or is this something that kind of just blows over?
No, listen, it could be a distraction, but I don't think it will be. And quite frankly, losing Rudy Gobert is significant, but you could argue the bigger loss is Jaden McDaniels. They've actually played better without Rudy Gobert this season. They have a higher win percentage without him than they do with him, and obviously you'd rather have all of your players there. But losing Jaden McDaniels, who's your best perimeter defender, who's really been ascending offensively, that stretch where Anthony Edwards got hurt with the ankle, his offense really started to take off. His confidence was growing. not having him, I think, is actually a bigger loss because Karl Anthony Towns is starting to play really well. He had a monster game in that win against the Pelicans, and you could see him being able to move over to the 5 spot, especially in a series against the Lakers, or I should say a game against the Lakers, because they're not going to have a back-to-the-basket type center. AD is going to play on the perimeter a little bit as well. But that loss of McDaniels, to me, is probably more significant for Minnesota, because even if they lose this game, they still obviously have another opportunity, knowing that you're not going to have him. Man, that's a tough one to swallow.
Yeah, not having Naz Reid there either. To back up Gobert, that is huge for the Minnesota Timberwolves. All right, coming up, Trae Young's postseason versus the Heat last year was less than impressive. Admitted that the defense got to him. Now he's got a chance to put the hurt on the Heat in a one-game showdown.